Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans and gamers, I'm your host JMMA and welcome back to another thrilling exploration of the virtual octagon. Today we will dissect the potential for a professional fighters league, PFL for short, video game to not only compete with, but to potentially overthrow the reigning market champion EA UFC. In a world where combat sports and gaming collide, the stage is close to being set for a fierce showdown. Let's dive into the factors that could catapult PFL Gaming to new heights and perhaps leave EA UFC tapping out. Start off our analysis. This brings us to the potential entry of the PFL into the gaming arena. Known for its innovative tournament format and roster of top fighters, the PFL has made a significant impact in the real-world mixed martial arts scene. With commitment to fan engagement and a fresh take on the sport, PFL Gaming has the potential to offer something different from the established EA UFC franchise. PFL has recently announced that they have bought out another MMA corporation, Bellator, and they will incorporate 50% of Bellator's roster within its own seasonal roster. Now, if you don't know, the PFL only consists of 6 weight classes: men's featherweight, women's featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, and heavyweight. And now with the acquisition of Bellator, they could be potentially adding fighters like AJ McKee, Usman Nurmagomedov, Patricio Pitbull, and more. With the PFL's unique format, which includes regular season, playoff, and championship fights, this provides a diverse and engaging experience for fans. Imagine a video game that mirrors this structure, allowing players to experience the highs and the lows of a fighter's journey and ultimately ending up in a championship showdown. This dynamic approach to storytelling could set PFL Gaming apart from the more linear narrative of EA UFC. EA UFC, their version of Ranked Online, is set to a division-based ranking system ranging from 1 to 20. Players can accumulate multiple title defenses as they move up the rankings. Now imagine this. In PFL Gaming, online players go through a season that lasts about 35 days, give or take. And then to actually be in the PFL game tournament, they have to be placed within the top 16 in the world. After that, those 16 players could be placed in a tournament to determine who's the PFL Gaming champion. Now, I know the idea may need a lot of work, a lot more planning, but it's possibly a good base for the PFL to enter the esports scene alongside making a video game. Now, the PFL has a lot of determining factors as far as funding. They're offering Nate Diaz $15 million. What if they use that 15 mil, add a little bit more to possibly make a video game? I think this will be fairly interesting, and they can do this. Given that the PFL, I believe they're in tune with Optic Gaming, they can do a lot of things within the esports scene that are extremely interesting. But as I say that, we all know the heart of any fighting game lies within this roster of fighters. EA UFC was a dominant force in this area, boasting an extensive lineup of fighters from various weight classes and eras. However, recently, they've considerably slacked off when it comes to this regard. By focusing on fighters exclusive to the PFL and Bellator rosters, the game could carve out its own niche in the gaming market. Moreover, realism is the key to any successful fighting game. PFL Gaming can take a page from EA UFC's book in terms of graphical fidelity, but EA UFC lacks actual realism to its in-real-life counterpart. That's where the PFL can swoop in and gain that leverage. If they offer unique fighter animations and more of a simulation-based style of gaming rather than the arcade, then like I mentioned earlier, they can stand out amongst this very niche genre. PFL's commitment to showcasing fighters from various backgrounds and skill sets could contribute to a more diverse and authentic gaming experience. Imagine the excitement of mastering unique fighting styles from a PFL athlete who brings something fresh and new to the virtual cage. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't need to be full-on simulation, because I do think that's a fairly tall ask for the first installment of a video game. But favoring simulation, similar to what Undisputed 3 captivated, is a great way to mark your territory. But in retrospect, to truly challenge the EA UFC juggernaut, the PFL must first bring innovation to gameplay mechanics. Luckily for us, EA UFC hasn't set that high of a standards for controls. There's always room for improvement and innovation. A potential PFL video game could introduce a more dynamic and strategic approach to fights, perhaps emphasizing the league's unique scoring system and fighter strategies. Even added new camera angles, such as spectator mode, or possibly the ref cam. This could create a gaming experience that is not only entertaining for casual players, but deeply satisfying for MMA enthusiasts. Now again, let's imagine a game where players adapt their game plans based on changing circumstances of a fight, much like real MMA matches. This level of adaptability and strategic depth could set PFL Gaming apart, providing a fresh and exciting alternative for gamers tired of the same old routine in a virtual octagon. The potential for a PFL video game to overtake EA UFC becomes increasingly evident. With a unique tournament format, a diverse roster of fighters, and innovative gameplay mechanics, PFL Gaming has the tools to shake up the virtual octagon. While EA UFC has been a long reigning undisputed champion, the time may come for a new contender to rise and claim that title. Well, that's it for today's video. It's been JMMA. Do something productive with your day beating your meat. It's not productive, and keep your gloves on, people, because the fight for an actual competitive and great MMA game is only getting started.